Hi everyone, I'm Yaron,
I'm Jackie.
and we are from the Cloudinary product team. And today we would like to invite you to learn how to handle media at scale.
But before we get started, we just want to give you a little heads up. This isn't entirely a how-to workshop. It's more like an inspiration workshop. We're going to show you a ton of things that you probably never knew you could do with Cloudinary. It's going to be a bit more about the what with some peeks at the how. But we'll also show you where you can find the detailed how, I promise. Our hope is that by the time you complete this workshop, you'll not only have learned lots more about what you can do almost magically with Cloudinary, but you'll also leave with tons of ideas of how you can use these features to enhance your own apps.
So let's get started. Thinking of media handling on the web, it's such a wide topic with so many aspects. If we think of a life cycle of an image, a video, or any other rich media, it typically involves the following steps. The first one is creating it, either by capturing on a camera or creating it using a graphic design tools. The next step will be typically to upload it to a central storage or a repository. And then you need to manage it, which typically includes storing it, arranging it into folders or other structures, having methods of searching for what you need, sharing media between stakeholders, and collaborating on it through the workflow of feedback and approvals. The next step would be editing. Typically, you want to edit the original file to make it fit to your site layout, to your brand guidelines, to your audience, geography, or any other context. And finally, you want to deliver the final media to the end users in the most optimized way, so it will perfectly fit the end user display, device, the network condition, and other factors. And lastly, you typically want to measure the success of your content through analytics and data if needed, make improvements, or alternatively increase the usage of the techniques that are working well.
So there are many tools out there that cover some of these steps, but Cloudinary is one of the only platforms that actually handles the entire end-to-end process. And additionally, while some of those steps, especially the first ones, obviously have to be manual, they're involving talents and opinions and decision making. These last three steps would be really overwhelming if they needed to be done manually. And without any kind of smart automation, it would be almost impossible to scale. So if you sometimes end up feeling a bit like this, it's definitely time for a change.
So let's go ahead and automate. So on our agenda today, we chose to focus on 4 different media handling scenarios. We will use them to show you quite a few ways you can harness automation and AI technologies to make your media-rich apps super efficient and scalable. So the topics we're going to cover today. The first one will be how you can automate social video creation, where each video needs to have the right dimensions for the target social network, captions, logo for brand consistency, and other social video related stuff. The second topic will touch user-generated content. Users just love looking at other users' uploaded content. And UGC is known as boost conversion. And while it still needs to be validated for quality, for usability, size, and other aspects before you expose it to the world, right? The third topic would be about optimizing videos. What is video optimization? Why we need to do it? What are the trade-offs? And how we do it on scale? And the last topic today would be about automating media management. How can you manage so many media assets efficiently, and what can we do to automate and make things simple?
So without further ado, let's dive into each one of these and see what can be done to streamline the media handling process using Cloudinary's automation and AI capabilities. Yaron, you want to get started with social videos?
Thanks, Jackie. So let's talk about social videos. Social videos are a super popular medium, especially these days. The use of social networks continue to grow as most of us are at home. We see more and more businesses using social videos for brand awareness, sales, products promotions, and more. We also know that video makes a strong difference in customer engagement and conversion. Customers are demanding more and more video. And yet, we all know that creating and publishing video content continues to be a huge challenge for all of our teams: technical, creative, marketing, IT, and business lines. In fact, the time and resources consumed to create, manage, and deliver affecting video content continues to be the #1 obstacle across all organizations and industries, and challenge everyone from the largest global organization to the smallest businesses. So how can we make more video? Let's see how can we use automation and AI to offload some of those efforts. Talking about social videos. So what makes a good social video? There's probably different types of secret sauce that makes a social video go viral. And we don't know some big secret, but we can definitely have some tips on the other ingredients. So first and foremost, you need to have a good content, something that will catch your viewers' attention and deliver the right message. But additionally, you will need also to deal with the following aspects. Aspect ratio. Since each social network dictates different aspect ratio, you will want to make sure your video aspect ratio fit it. This means you'll probably need to crop your videos to a square or a vertical format before publishing. Title and captions are important, as most of the social videos are played muted. To grab attention and add context, you probably want to add titles and captions to your video. Branding is also important. You would like to make sure that all of your videos have consistent visual language. And by that, I mean logo, fonts, and colors. This will make your content consistent and recognizable. And lastly, progress bar. Adding a progress bar to short videos will hint to your viewers that you're not going to take too much of their time. And it was proved to engage your viewers much more. In the next couple of slides, we will go through examples of creating videos for Instagram stories at scale. In each step, we will add one of those ingredients in a programmatic way that will help us scale and virtually go to any number of videos. So let's start. For our example, let's imagine that we have a travel brand called Sea Travel, and we are a post-COVID-19 world. Travel and tourism are back, and we're looking to add daily Instagram video ads for our summer 2020 destinations. Our first destination is Vietnam. So I've uploaded a short video clip to Cloudinary. Our original videos were all shot in landscape to fit our .com website layout, and indeed, they look great on the laptop. But creating a vertical Instagram stories from the videos will look like this. Not perfect, right? We see that the video is not leveraging the whole screen. Many of the details are too small. So let's see what we can do about it. The URL that you can see at the bottom of the screen is a standard MP4 video file that I've uploaded to Cloudinary. Now, let's see how we crop the video so it will look nice on a vertical screen. So in this scenario, we are cropping a landscape 16:9 to a vertical 9:16 video. But when we are cropping, we must know that some of the video will be lost. In this example, we crop the center of the video, which leaves the peaceful boat out of the frame in some time. So we're just focusing on the center. You can see the end result is a bit far from perfect. So how we do it in a smart way? So let's look how things are happening when we use AI and sophisticated algorithms to have a smart crop of the video. In this case, the original landscape video is analyzed by a deep learning algorithm and done on the fly, then masked to create a dynamic crop that tells the story of the video accurately. So you can see in this example of the jumping dog, instead of a static crop, just taking the center, we understand that this is the dominant object in the video and create a dynamic crop which basically follows the dog, and you can see the result here, how it looks like on a mobile phone. So let's go back to our example of the Vietnam movie. So what we do, basically, if you look at the URL, and all of our transformations can be done in the URL on the SDK, you can see the aspect ratio here, the desired aspect ratio, which is 9:16. The crop mode is fill, and we have added this gravity auto parameters, which basically uses our AI smart cropping. And you can see that now we have a much more better example of how the result looks like. We understand that the boat is the dominant object in the video, and we nicely follow and do a dynamic crop to see it on the whole screen of the device. Let's continue to next step. So in this step, we're going to talk about adding captions and logo to our videos. So you can see that basically I've added an overlay. The L_text here is a text overlay that will include the text Visit Vietnam in that case. We've choose the font, we've choose the style, we've choose the font size and family, we choose the location on the video, and this is automatically added, burnt into the video. And the same goes with our company logo, Sea Travel. So I've created this nice logo here, and using the overlay mechanism, I'll put the Sea Travel image on the top right side of the video. So now I have a cropped video, a dynamically cropped video with a title and a logo. Let's see the next step. The last step that we wanted to do is to create this progress bar. Remember, this progress bar will hint the user that, hey, it's a short video. It will not take too much of your time. So we can do it easily and dynamically in Cloudinary just by adding the e-progress bar effect. I've defined the frame, which basically means the progress bar will go around the video. We can put it also on the bottom. And the the width of the actual progress bar, and automatically I get this end result of my Instagram story. So if we go over the URL of what we just did in a very short way, we can see there are like 4 different types here. So there's the actual video name, which is vietnam.mp4 in this case. And there's like my account settings here, my cloud name, Yaron Al. And there's the colors. So the blue colors refers to the actual cropping. So what we are doing here is basically cropping to a vertical aspect ratio using autogravity, the AI smart cropping with a 400 pixel width. Adding a text layer, the orange part, is basically the title. So I'm adding a text with the Hebrew font in 44 pixel size, bold. And this is the actual text, Visit Vietnam. I want it to appear in the bottom part, so gravity south, and some fine tuning of where exactly I want the text to be. And finally, the actual text color, which is white in this case. The green part indicates the actual logo. So my logo image called Sea Travel, so I'm using an overlay. I want it to be in the northeast parts of the video, some fine tuning on the positioning. And the last part is the actual progress bar effect, which we add a frame in a white color, 8 pixel width. So this was just one video, but you probably noticed that we created the URL that can actually serve as a template. You just need to change the video file name, the fonts, the colors. You're probably getting that. So here's an example. I've created 3 more videos using the very same URL template. Just replace the video name and some fonts and colors. Looks nice, isn't it? You can learn much more on our social video blog and our documentation about how to handle social video at scale, how to do smart cropping, and generally what kind of other transformations you can do with Cloudinary. Speaking of social networks, one of the biggest trends related to social media is user-generated content, and how much more and more brands and businesses are leveraging user-generated content. And Jackie will cover that in the next part.
Thanks, Yaron. That was really very cool. So now let's move on and talk a little bit about user-generated content. Basically, as the numbers you see here can attest, UGC really does work. Regardless of the domain that you may be in, app users really do seem to love looking at other people's media. For example, they may be uploading trips that they just took, or they may be sharing their experiences at your hotel or your restaurant. Whatever it might be, these personal visual stories really tend to increase the trust and reliability of both your products and your organization. But that just in my It Just Works title, it is a bit misleading. There really is a lot that you need to do and consider to make sure that those end user assets are matching your design, your quality and security and privacy standards, and that it gives a really great end user experience. So again, we know UGC can be great, but only if you do it right. Luckily, Cloudinary offers a variety of automation options, many of them that are taking advantage of our AI and deep learning capabilities. So it's making it easy for you to meet all of these needs, regardless of your scale. So let's run through a few of those options now. So when you're uploading your end users' assets, there may be a variety of different types of analyses that you'd like to run. Cloudinary offers the option, for example, to check the quality of an image and make sure that it's not too pixelated or too blurry. You can also check whether the images getting uploaded are going to be useful to about 8% of your male audience and at least 0.5% of your female audience who may be colorblind. If you're allowing your users to upload files other than images and videos, you're definitely going to want to perform some sort of a malware analysis on that. And certainly, whatever images your customers are uploading, you're going to want to make sure that they aren't violating your own company and site standards regarding nudity, suggestive content, violence, or other visually disturbing content. So any of these that you might request on upload, or you could request all of them, the results of those analyses are performed, immediately sent to a webhook. Each of them show similarly to what we've shown here. They show a likelihood of a particular problem occurring. And basically, based on the severity of the results, you can choose to reject a customer's upload and not display it on your site, or you can warn them and let them decide if maybe they want to replace it with a better image, or you can let them know that you've done a huge analysis on their images and they've passed with flying colors. So before we jump on to the next topic, I do want to share, we've had a quality score out for quite a while available, but we now have an extended quality analysis that is an option, and the colorblind accessibility that we're showing you here is also in beta right now. These are the types of results you can get if you join the extended quality and accessibility beta. You'll be able to get detailed results like this about the quality of each image, as well as the standard total quality score. Within the accessibility analysis, it gives you information about different elements of that image that may be problematic for your colorblind audience, as well as a weighted score at the end. So if you are interested in testing out these new features, then make sure that you contact our support and ask to join this beta. Another really simple option to apply, but can really make a difference in keeping your standards up on images when you really don't know what to expect from your users. So it may be very important to hide end users who are uploading pictures of people and making sure that those faces aren't sharing the identity of anyone else. So all you have to do, basically, I'll show it to you right here on the spot. Let's say somebody wanted to upload this picture, and you want to make sure that we're not exposing anyone's faces without their permission. So you simply need to deliver the image that was uploaded with a parameter inside, an effect parameter called pixelate faces. Or let's start with blur, since that was our first example. You can blur faces. And as long as you deliver with this parameter, you're going to end up with blurred faces. I started to mention you can do the same thing with pixelate. You can specify also, rather than accepting the default, you may want to control the size of the pixels that are being included here. And you don't need to worry at all about the fact that some people might not be uploading faces in every single image Cloudinary analyzes and detects faces. If there are no faces there, then it doesn't have any impact. So, for example, if I try to blur faces on this one, basically this type of a thing, if you want to make sure that faces are being kept private, this is something you can apply. Similarly, we offer an OCR recognition add-on. If you apply this add-on, when you upload an image, then we'll capture the text during the upload. And when you then deliver images, you can choose to blur or pixelate in the same way. Simply, you're using the pixelate region and specifying the gravity of OCR, meaning that you want the region that you're pixelating to be the region detected by the OCR add-on. And you can pixelate numbers to make sure that people who might not be uploading photos of license plates or credit cards or any other personal identification. So that's super useful. Beyond the analysis that we have shown so far, another really easy one is automatic tagging. All you have to do is select the add-on you want to use depending on which engine you'd like to use. There is an Amazon engine, Google engine, and a MAGA engine, all of which are very strong, reliable automatic tagging engines. And when you upload the image, request the relevant engine's auto tagging service. And when that image is uploaded, then you'll automatically get these tags. Each engine analyzes it, finds sometimes hundreds of different terms that could potentially describe your image, and then you simply select the confidence score that is relevant for you. So for example, here I said anything with a confidence score over 70 should be added as a tag. And I got a really nice list here of tags that will then help me later when I want to run searches, either myself in the media library to see what kinds of assets I have in a particular category, or to use those tags for a variety of different programmatic options within my app. Beyond the automatic tagging, you may want to capture other metadata that your customers can provide. So for example, if a customer is uploading a picture of a purchase they've made, when they upload it, then they may be filling out a form letting you know which brand they're uploading and what other categories it falls in, when they purchased it, and things like that. And you can then append that data directly to a particular asset. These are fields that you define in advance. They're typed fields, so you can specify them as multi-select or single-select fields, as dates, as numbers, and again, providing you with a huge amount of data that you can then pass back into your app to enable all of your end users to search through user-generated content under specific categories and on. And a last piece, while we're talking about metadata, whenever anyone uploads a photograph, then we automatically capture all of the embedded metadata in that photograph, and that embedded metadata is stored with the asset as well, and again, can be used for searching. So Yaron already showed you in his talk a few minutes ago some very cool things that you can do with Cloudinary's automatic cropping, or as it's known from the URL perspective, G-Auto. That always makes sure that, for example, he showed with videos that when you deliver a video in different aspect ratios, you can still make sure that the important part of your video is always being shown. Same is true for images. And if you don't know what your customers are going to be uploading, then it is definitely recommended to use G-Auto and deliver every single image using G-Auto, so that no matter how you crop and resize, Cloudinary will analyze and choose the most interesting subjects in the pictures and crop to make sure that those objects stay inside. But in particular situations, you might actually have an idea of what the customer was shooting for, and then you can be more specific for Cloudinary in getting the crops that you want. So let's take a use case here. Let's say you have a secondhand online website, and you allow your customers to upload photos of the items they're selling. So suppose a particular customer wants to sell his microwave, refrigerator, and sink on your site. So he uploads 3 different ads and just writes the type of object that he's selling and the price and everything in his descriptions. But he uses this same single photograph of his kitchen for all 3 items. Now, when you in your app display the search results for a particular product, you're probably going to show a pretty small thumbnail of user's product. And if the user uploaded an image like this and it's scaled down to a tiny little thumbnail, the likelihood of end users being able to recognize that microwave and decide it's something they're interested in purchasing is pretty small. But since we know that the customer was shooting for delivering a microwave, then let's make sure that that's what the crop keeps. So all we have to do is, based on the information we captured from the user's form, we know he's trying to sell a microwave, so let's tell Cloudinary that. that we want to keep the microwave. Whoops. When we do a crop, we're going to use the thumbnail type of cropping. Given that we want to output this as a thumbnail, we're going to want to make it, just for the purposes of this demonstration, I'll make it a little bit bigger so everyone can see. Width of 600 with an aspect ratio of 1. So basically we're making a square thumbnail here. And when I deliver the image like that, it automatically crops around that microwave. If instead of the microwave, I had specified the refrigerator, then your crop's going to be over there. So basically, you'd be able to deliver this same image. When users look at the full image, they can see the full image. When you're delivering it as a thumbnail, you can choose to deliver it with the relevant object. And here, just shown, these are those URLs for the different ones that you can take advantage of if you're taking a look at this presentation later. Now, beyond using gauto for crop, you can also return the coordinates that Cloudinary has found client side so that you can use those for other things. For example, if instead of actually just delivering the cropped image here, we use the special get info flag, then what I actually get returned is a JSON. So you can take this URL, run it in your app, receive this JSON, and then use that information within your app. For example, maybe you provide a cropping option within your application. You can use these coordinates as the initial location of your cropping and allow users to change it. Or maybe you want to add overlays to an image, you want to add text to an image, and you want to make sure that you are not covering up the important part of the image. So you can use these coordinates to tell you where you want to locate your text overlay near but not on top of a particular object. Here I've shown it to you with gauto and an object. The same exact thing works if we were using the regular gauto. We will get different coordinates, but it will still return you, again, the gauto information. This FL get info is great. Also, this landmarks area will show you facial landmarks, for example, where eyes, nose, and mouth are on a particular image. All of that you can find in the Cloudinary documentation. So FL get info can be a super way without any backend to get cropping information about an image. And next, so far, basically we've covered these really valuable features that let you automate at scale. But all of them are kind of the serious stuff that you have to do. But your users, if they're uploading user-generated content, they really have kind of gotten used to being able to do all sorts of fun things with their images before they upload them. And who wouldn't want to have those options? But it's a huge amount of development work to offer those to your users. Not with Cloudinary, though. With Cloudinary, you just grab a line of code, put it behind a button or a checkbox or anything else, and you can offer these features to your users. So just very quickly, sorry about that, we will open up this picture of this woman that she might have wanted to upload as a profile picture, and if she wanted to have a cartoon version of her profile picture, all you'd have to do is provide her a button that lets her deliver the same image with the eCartoonify effect, and she's set. We also provide a variety of artistic filters, kind of the Instagram style filters. Those are under the art effect, and just pick one of the 30 or so filters that we have. Trying to remember a couple of the options I showed you here. So for example, you could use the sizzle filter. Let this woman sizzle a bit. And there you have it. So again, this page right here shows you 5 or 6 different effects, but there are actually 10 or 20 different effects, probably even more, as well as 30, 40 filters that you can apply and let your users apply. Beyond the basic effects that we offer, there are other cool things. You can allow your users to remove backgrounds. So there's an AI background removal add-on developed by Cloudinary. Cloudinary's deep learning team analyzes the image, figures out the foreground, removes the background no matter how many different kinds of complicated colors, able to distinguish what's the shadow of the object and what's the background. So allow your users to upload their images and get back a result without a background. And then, hey, let's make it even a little bit more fun. Let's let them add their own new backgrounds to it. These days, traveling is a little bit more complicated, but with Cloudinary, you offer them to travel to any of these locations. Just let them pick a picture, set it as the underlay of your transparent image, and you are set. And one last one I want to leave you with, very cool. You can allow your users to take their photograph and merge it with an art, any kind of work of art, and see how they might look if they were painted by that same artist. So in this one, I can share with you right now, we have a really nice demo on the website. If you take a look at this demo, it can show you here. For example, let's say I wanted to see how this coffee cup might look if this was the artwork it was based on. And you can take a look here. There's a variety of different options. We can see how this guy might look if he was the Mona Lisa's best friend. And upload your own pictures, see how these things work. Really easy to use and a lot of fun. Really nice things that you can offer to your users. So I really tried to squish a lot into this short session. What I showed you here is really just the tip of the iceberg on things you can do with a line or two of code to make sure that all of your end user content uploaded to your site meets all of your standards and at the same time gives a great user experience. Every one of these things that you're doing here basically is done in seconds or in most cases milliseconds on the Cloudinary servers. It's delivered to your customers. The images are cached on VPNs. You're getting great delivery on these. And a couple last points regarding some of the things I've shown you. Most of what I showed you today, everything I showed you today is supported for images. Some of them are also supported for videos. For example, I mentioned the auto tagging. You can also auto tag your videos. A lot of the things that I showed you today are built in with Cloudinary or developed by Cloudinary. A few of them, again, as I mentioned, you can use third-party engines such as Amazon, Google, and other third-party AI engines that you make the request from Cloudinary, you get the response back to Cloudinary, so you're getting to take advantage of these really well-proven AI engines by other third parties. But from your perspective, you're only needing to learn and use the Cloudinary syntax within your chosen SDK. It's all supported inline. And as you can see here, there's a bunch of links that will help you to learn more about how to implement the things that I ran through today, including explanation, sample code, and other use case ideas. So make sure to ask support for this slideshow afterwards if you'd like to grab these links. And now I'm ready to hand it back off to Yaron. In his previous talk, he was focusing on how important video is on your site and how important it is to deliver it correctly in various social media. But video, regardless of where it's coming from, whether it's video that you're delivering on social media, whether it's user-generated videos or professionally created videos, you're always going to want to deliver them in the most optimized way. So Yaron is going to show you how to do that now. Yaron?
Thanks, Jackie. So on this part, let's talk about video optimization. What is video optimization? How to do that effectively? But first, why we need to optimize videos? As consumers, we are flooded with information and expect everything to work perfectly and quickly. So users expect the same with video. It should load fast, play smooth, and overall look amazing. Otherwise, we just move on, right? But reality is much more complex. In many places, networks are still limited and become a bottleneck for delivering high-quality videos. There are so many devices out there, each with its own capabilities and limitations. So at the end of the day, we are facing a trade-off between quality, video size, speed, and cost of the actual video compression process. So let's take a step back and think about our goal. Our goal is to find that sweet spot, which delivers the desired video quality using a smallest possible size or bandwidth at the minimal cost. Simple, isn't it? Well, delivering videos to users can be much more complex than many people stop to consider. There's a large variety of video formats and codecs to choose between, and so many optimization parameters for encoding those videos. Parameters such as bitrate, keyframe interval, and frame rate will have an effect on the visual quality and bandwidth requirements when delivering videos. And to make matters even worse, there are even so many potential viewing devices out there: desktops, laptops, tablets, mobiles, wearables, you name it. Each one of them have different operating system, browsers, or applications, and they all support different formats and codecs. So it looks like we have to find that sweet spot, right? On one hand, we could create one video format that will fit all devices out there. It's possible, but it means that we're aiming for the lowest common denominator, and that actually translates to compromising on video quality or spending a lot of money on CDN and video delivery. So let's have a closer look on popular videos, formats, and codecs. It's quite a technical topic, but I promise I won't dive too deep. What's important to know that there are different video formats and codecs out there. A video format is practically a file type, like MP4, WebM, MOV, etc. This is the file that contains the actual video data. A codec is an algorithm that knows how to encode and decode video, which means an efficient way to compress video data. There's a lot more to say about codecs, their history, performance, patents, and the use cases, but due to time constraints, we will not dive into this right now. What's important to know about codecs is that codecs define the standard of how video is compressed and decompressed. Modern codecs are more efficient. They compress video better without losing visual quality. But not all browsers and devices out there can play those modern codecs. So let's have a quick look on browser compatibility. The first and most popular codec is H.264 or AVC. It is supported on almost any device out there, and therefore it's the most popular codec. Many video services use H.264 as the one codec that fits all devices. But as mentioned earlier, this is indeed an advantage, but yet a compromise, as other codecs are much more efficient. HEVC or H.265 is the successor of H.264. And as you can see, it is supported only on Safari and iOS devices. It performs between 20 to 40% better than H.264. And we also have the VP8 and VP9 codecs coming from Google and supported on Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Android. From performance perspective, VP8 is equivalent to H.264. VP9 is somehow equivalent to HEVC. And one of the latest codecs out there is called AV1, which presents an additional 20 to 40% over VP9 and HEVC, but still very slow and CPU intensive. And is already supported on the new Chrome, Firefox, and new Edge browsers. So if we wanted to deliver each user coming from a different browser the best codec for him, it would mean that we would need to detect the user browser and decide which format and codec we should use. And this list would probably change a few times when new codecs are announced or browsers add new capabilities. So we need a way to keep it simple, right? Using Cloudinary auto format or fauto is exactly for that. You can simply add fauto to your video URL, and Cloudinary will automatically detect each viewer device capabilities and deliver the right video format and codec for him. By using fauto, we leverage modern codecs, but only where possible, and gain both from user experience and cost-saving benefits. So we talked about adapting video format and codec to the device capabilities, but we didn't talk about the actual video content. Remember the trade-off we mentioned earlier? Finding that sweet spot is not only about finding the right codec. It's also a matter of specific video we're dealing with. It's the actual content. Not all video were born the same. There are simple videos like this sea turtle or an interview, talking heads videos, and there are more complex videos like this rafting or sports, or generally any video that includes a lot of details and fast motion. If we go back to our trade-off and the journey to find the best sweet spot, it's basically a trade-off between visual quality, how we see the actual content. Is it the details are crisp enough or not? Bandwidth, and this is the actual file size that we are delivering to our viewers. And speed/cost. This means how fast we are optimizing the video, how fast we can encode the video and make it ready for publishing. And that sweet spot depends very much on our use case. What's more important for us? We can pick any two of this triangle. If we focus on speed and size, which means creating small files and do it fast, this will limit us on the quality. If we focus on quality and size, this will take a lot of CPU and time to create those files, raising our costs. And if we focus on quality and speed, this will end up in large files that will be costly to deliver and may buffer on slow networks. So as you can probably see, we need to find that sweet spot. And while bandwidth and speed are measurable easily, perceived quality is subjective and can be different from video to video. So how can we choose the best video quality automatically? We just use an autopilot. So in the same way we used F-Auto to automatically choose the best format and codec, we use Q-Auto or automatic quality to choose the best quality setting for a specific video based on the actual content and complexity of that video. You can go ahead and try it yourself, both Q-Auto and F-Auto in one of our demos. Just go to demo.cloudinary.com/video comparator, and you'll be able to see basically a side-by-side video player, which you can load two videos. You can put one with Q-Auto, one without. You can see the difference. And typically we see a large reduction in video file without any visual quality loss. So to recap, we talked about video optimization. Why do we need it? And what are the trade-offs? We've quickly reviewed the different formats and codecs and the browsers that support those codecs. We saw how we can use F-Auto to automatically adapt the format and the codec of each viewer. And now Q-Auto helps us to find the optimal quality, size, speed, sweet spot, so we can stop worrying about those details and focus on our core business. On our next and last part of this webinar, Jackie will discuss how we can manage a large repository of media assets and how we can use automation that do that effectively. Over to you, Jackie.
Thanks, Yaron. So, as we're coming to a close here, most of today's presentation has been about things you can do during upload or things you can do during delivery to make the experience better for your users. But there's an administration side to managing your media as well. So you may need to be able to search for assets based on various criteria and then perform bulk operations on them. You may need to create, modify, or delete Cloudinary entities programmatically, for example, your upload presets, your folders, your metadata. Now, of course, you can perform all of these operations using our REST API, the admin API, and the upload API, or using any of our server-side SDKs. But what if you've only got a client-side app? Or even if you are working server-side, you just want to run a few little one-time admin calls and don't want to deal with messing with your back-end existing code. So that is exactly why we have recently launched the Cloudinary CLI. It can run every single operation that our server-side SDKs can in terms of your admin and upload commands. Plus, we've added in a few bonus functions in the CLI that can save you quite a bit of coding time. So really, is it that easy? It is. All you have to do is run one command to install the CLI, run another one-liner to export your account environment variable, and then start running commands. And boom, you have started controlling your assets in literally seconds. And to be honest, we've only got a few more minutes left in this workshop, and that is enough to give you a couple examples of what you can do with this and how easy it really is. So I mentioned there were a few bonus functions. I've listed them here. 3 of them are related to ways to quickly get assets from external locations into your Cloudinary account. As you can see, the migrate will let you create a list of URLs and then map them to the folder you'd like to upload to and upload those external files quickly in order to migrate and get started with Cloudinary. You've got the upload directory command that will let you specify any local folder and upload everything from there in one shot. You've got a sync that will allow bi-directional synchronization between a local folder and Cloudinary, which means that you can continually add assets to a folder and they'll automatically get uploaded to Cloudinary or vice versa. And that last function is a separate one. The make command will allow you to automatically generate the main code that you need in order to embed one of our widgets in your app. If you want to use our upload widget or our video player or any of the widgets, just run the command, let it know which widget you want, and it'll hand you all of that code so that you can just drop it right into your site. So let me show you exactly how we can do this. I'll show you a combination of using an admin API command along with one of these bonus functions, the upload directory command. And what we're going to do basically is take a folder of products that we want to upload to the Cloudinary site. But while we're uploading them, we also want to get rid of the backgrounds. Remember, I showed you that in our in my previous session as something that people might want to do as part of editing their own assets, but you may also want to do that to make sure that all the products on your site have a consistent look and feel. So we're going to go ahead and set that up right now. So I'm here in a command line where I've already exported my Cloudinary environment variable. So that's a little bit higher up on this page. And from here, I've now got a Cloudinary configuration set up. Since I've exported the variable, I can quickly run Cloudinary config, and it shows me here the information that it reads out of that environment variable with the API secret hidden. And now let's go ahead and use one of those admin commands. So let's run the admin API command that's, sorry. We'll run the admin API command right here called create upload preset. That's upload preset. This command lets you create an upload preset. If you're not familiar with them, they're super useful. It's basically a template of all the options you want to apply to an upload. Once you've defined an upload preset in your account, you can use it for any type of upload, whether it's a media library, UI upload, or a direct upload command, or in this case, we're going to use it for that upload directory command in a minute. So first, let's go ahead and create it. Since this upload preset is going to help us to remove backgrounds, let's call it something like background remove. Just going to call it 6 because I've done a few others in the past. So make sure it's got a unique name. And we're going to activate the background removal parameter on this upload preset, making sure that we're referencing the Cloudinary AI capability. And additionally, let's just take a bunch of other upload preset parameters that we'll want to include for all of our uploads. So what I've pasted here is that we are enabling an existing file to overwrite another one with the same name. We do want the public IDs of our assets to use the file names that we're getting ready to upload, and we do not want the public IDs to get a unique identifier appended to them. We're uploading using the upload type, the standard default upload type, as opposed to uploading private or authenticated assets. So when I run this now, we've got a new upload preset called background remove 6 that has been added to my Cloudinary account. And now I can take advantage of that upload preset right away. I'm going to run another command, Cloudinary CLI command called upload directory, the one we mentioned before. I'm going to create a new folder in my Cloudinary account. I've actually already got a folder I'll show you here called ImageCon, but it doesn't have any folders inside it. And I'd like it to upload inside that folder. I would like it to have a new folder called no background, no BGD, no background products. And we're going to make sure that we upload to that folder using the upload preset, using the -p command. The upload preset we just created is background remove 6, so we'll take advantage of that. And now we are going to tell it where to upload from. So I'm going to ask it to upload from my documents, Cloudinary, image con winter clothes folder. And let me just show you that folder. This is the folder that I referenced. Inside it, there are a few different products here. Each of them have different backgrounds. It's also got a subfolder called shoes with another product inside it. So this is the folder we want to upload, this folder and all of the subfolders. And assuming I've got no typos here, it should start uploading that folder. We'll give it a second. So there you have it. We have 4 resources that were uploaded, 3 of them from that main folder, the additional one from the additional one was uploaded from that subfolder. When I refresh my ImageCon folder now, I'm going to see that it created the folder I asked it to create, which is called, remind me, we'll see in a second, called No Background Products. Inside No Background Products, we got the folder that we asked it to upload, which was called Winter Clothes. Inside Winter Clothes, we have those products that we those images that we asked it to upload, but now they're already with the background removed because it used the upload preset we created a few seconds ago. And you can see the subfolder is here as well. So that's it in a nutshell. Showed you how to use a couple of the CLI commands to get stuff done. The amount of time I spent is exactly how much time you'll have to spend, even as a new user of Cloudinary, to get going with CLI. And it's also a great way to learn how to use the Cloudinary features. Just once you've got an account with your API key and secret, all you have to do is exactly what I showed you, and plus exporting your API key to your environment variable. You can learn how to do all of this in greater detail. We have a really fun blog post that has a bunch of video tutorials inside it walking through different types of use cases. One of them is pretty much the use case I just showed you. There's a full reference, of course, with every possible CLI command. Beyond that, in the Cloudinary documentation, in the admin API ref and the upload API ref, if you hit those, I'll just show you real quickly here. If you hit this reference and go to any particular method, then you'll see the main syntax of that method and a bunch of different tabs here. One of them is the CLI tab. So here I can see what the syntax is from the CLI perspective. And if I scroll down here to my examples, I've also got a CLI tag that I can just copy the code straight from here and paste it in my command line and start using it that way. So take advantage of that as well. And that is about all I have for you today. It's really all there is to it. And that's also the last session of this workshop. So we really have covered a lot in this last hour. So I think it would be a great time to recap what it is that we did cover. Yaron, would you like to start?
So to recap, today we talked about 4 different scenarios that showed how we can use automation and AI techniques to handle media at scale. We've seen how AI and automation can scale social video creation. We also talked about user-generated content, and so how we can embrace this new trend and manage automatically large scale of content coming from our users. We learned why video optimization matters and how we can find that quality/compression trade-off automatically and make sure that our video looks great and loads fast. And lastly, we saw how to leverage our management CLI for automating media management tasks so we can focus on our core business rather than on how to sync files.
So due to the time constraints and wanting to show you so much in so little time, we mostly showed you these features by playing with the URL or in pre-prepared demos. But everything that we showed you today can be easily done through our REST API or through any of your choice of SDKs, mostly with just one or very few lines of code. Bottom line, you guys are going to enjoy huge power based on thousands of hours of Cloudinary research, deep learning, and coding time. So you guys can get amazing results no matter what your scale and with single lines of code. It kind of reminds me of that line you might remember from Aladdin, phenomenal cosmic power, itty bitty living space. So that's what we're offering you today.
So thank you guys. And remember, there's nothing stopping you from starting now this path today. If you don't have a Cloudinary account yet, drop by our website and sign up for a free one. Give it a shot and try out some of the stuff we've shown you today. And don't hesitate to reach our Cloudinary support to request a copy of this presentation, including all the help links for any questions you might have. So thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, Yaron.
And thank you all for joining this session.
Remember, there's no time like the present. It's time to automate.